and welcome to my first impressions of Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. The game's great, go buy it. Good job. Great job even. Great. Good job. Oh, you're still here. The video's over. Go on. Ooh, go to the next video. What? You want more? The game's fantastic as it is. Stop watching and go play it. It's on Game Pass. So I'm playing it. Great game. Fine. Here are my first thoughts and impressions on Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. Alright, so to get it out of the way first and foremost, yes, this game has some technical issues. It's the reason why I'm doing this quick first impressions video, instead of like a full-on review, give or take. If you've been watching my streams on Twitch, or if you've been checking out the VOD playlist here on YouTube, thank you very much. You would know why I'm doing this. It's because my entire first playthrough, it was about 34 hours in, it all got corrupted. All gone. However, I kind of see that as a also weird kind of benefit to the game. There are very few games where I would lose that amount of progress, that amount of time, and just like that, just hop back in. Stalker 2 is one of those games. When it comes to making video games nowadays, I feel like a lot of the industry, instead of focusing on what made games great, the gameplay, they're focused more on checking boxes to fit in with a new modern audience, so to speak. Not going to get into the whole woke war, who's right, who's wrong kind of thing. It feels in general most games have kind of leaned towards checking boxes first before making games good. However, Stalker 2, and specifically GSC Game World, the developer, they don't feel like they've really done that. They focus more on the gameplay, and that's a good thing. The game's gunplay is phenomenal. The developers, they actually do a fantastic job with the guns. Everything feels right. It's got the right kind of oomph. Every time you shoot it, like the shotguns, they have a great type of recoil. The pistols, they have barely any recoil, and I love the pistols. The assault rifles, they start off kind of bad, but if you upgrade them, there's a whole upgrading system. It's so good. But everything just feels great with the gunplay. I would say the only thing is enemies reacting to the gunshots don't really feel good. If they could work on that, that would be good. I've noticed, especially going later on, where instead of just headshotting enemies, they're starting to get a little tankier. They don't really react to bullets. They don't have any kind of like, They just kind of stand there and just keep shooting you like nothing even happened. That's kind of annoying. But apart from that, the gunplay is phenomenal. Speaking of headshots, early in the game, I was worried about the game being too easy. However, this does change. I was worried with these headshots, though, because it made the game kind of simple, except for the mutants. There's a hard line that's cut with a certain mission. I'm not going to say now, for spoilers, but for those who have played, it's the big attack on you-know-where by you-know-who. But after this point, almost every human enemy, apart from the occasional bandit, is wearing head armor, so it takes more than one shot to headshot him most times. It's smoothed out the difficulty a lot, which I appreciate, but early in the game, I was having an easy time. As long as I got around mutants and I was just fighting humans, piece of cake. Going back to the gunplay though, and how it goes along with headshots, as I was mentioning, it seems they've also gotten down the way bullets work too. You know, big bullets do more damage, small bullets not as much. Because I can still headshot these armored enemies, no problem, with a one-shot kill with a sniper rifle, like shooting a 7.62. So that feels a lot better. I still have some difficulties with these armored enemies though. In case I don't have the sniper on me, in case I miss, I can always get ready just to mag dump them with my assault rifle. DP-37, my beloved. Speaking of mag dumping enemies, let's talk about the mutants. Mutants in this game are like a toxic relationship. I love them and I hate them at the same time. Some of them are pretty chill, like the fleshes, those weird like pig things that jump at you. The blind dogs or even the little hopping rat things, both of which can be easily killed with a couple of shots. I can handle those, no problem. It's when the game decides to fuck with you and throw a mini boss at you. This game has a number of mini-bosses, and those mini-bosses start with the Hillbilly, otherwise known as the controller in-game. I call it a Hillbilly because it reminds me of the Hillbilly enemies from Fallout 3's DLC, Point Lookout. There's also the guy who betrayed King Leonidas in the 300 film, otherwise known to me as the Force Wielder. Then there's fucking Ghosts, the invisible Force Wielders who roll around as like little orbs and they fling things at you. Those things are annoying. And so past the Ghosts, they have a literal chupacabra, little crazy mutant cats. And then finally, the most annoying out of all of this entire list, the Ammo Waster 9000, otherwise known as the Cloning Dog. But finally, the real assholes of the bunch. First, everyone's favorite, and the one that you see last and first on the death screen, the Bloodsucker. Otherwise known to me as the Lurker, and otherwise known as the Hunters from Dying Light. Don't tell me they look different, they look the exact same. Despite discourse about the Bloodsuckers being overpowered, as they are very tanky, I have found one that is even worse. Yes, worse than the Bloodsuckers. And that is the Bears. Fuck the Bears. Not only are they tankier than a Bloodsucker, not only are they faster than a Bloodsucker, they have a longer range of a lunge than the Bloodsucker. So the Bloodsuckers, they are fast and invisible, and they leap at you and hit you, and that's bad. But the Bears, they sprint at you, and from like 20 yards away, like a NFL linebacker going for the quarterback, just lunge at you, full sprint, and swipe you, taking it like over half my health with each time. It sucks. So yeah, fuck the Bears. But anyways, apart from the mutants and the gunplay, both of these merge together along with the inventory system, the repair system, which costs way too much, the upgrade system, everything. All the gameplay is fantastic so far. Solid A from me with that. Let's get on to the story, which does take a bit of a dive. It's not bad from what I've experienced so far, but it's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing incredible. It's kind of average, give or take. And this is just from what I've played so far. I'm only about, I would say, a third of the way in, I think, maybe. And this is where I'm going to talk about spoilers. If anyone wants to skip those spoilers, go here in the video to skip them, to hear my final thoughts. If you want to hear them, though, if you don't care, go forward. So, as of recording this, I have just gotten past the major turning point in the story where you visit the Institute. No, not Fallout 4's Institute. The actual Institute. That is run by S.T.A.L.K.E.R, the bigwig scientist faction that is protected by the Ward, aka the cops. I have actually sided with the cops in this playthrough. I kind of find myself tending to agree with them. I kind of like their characters, Korshinov, Zotov. But I agree with their ideals, you know, controlling the zone, because obviously it's spreading, it's getting worse. So I think a bit of security is actually a good thing for the zone. But anyways, apart from my decision on joining the war, the Institute ends up getting attacked, as those who have already played probably already know. They end up getting attacked by Monolith, or the Noontiders. I don't know, I think they're the same. I have heard both Monolithians and Noontiders in-game. I'm just going to keep calling them Monolith from here on out. They get attacked by Monolith and Strider. Now, Strider ends up grabbing your artifact, which you find out in the Institute is an alpha artifact, and it's kind of like the MacGuffin of the game. Strider disappears. Everything's blowing up. You save Dr. Dolan, I think his name is, and he fucks off in a helicopter and you get left behind, and you got to go through the sewers to get out. Turns into a bit of a mini boss showcase, going through a bunch of different mutants, but that's fine. It was fun. But this whole thing was interesting. I'll say, this whole thing with the Institute was pretty interesting. I'll give them that. Some of the story bits were pretty cool, like meeting, I don't remember her name, but meeting like the director behind the scenes, that lady who knows Skiff's real name, Yevenne. So that was pretty cool. But after that, we escape, you know, there's the big fight at Institute, it all goes to shit, and we escape. Everything after this that I've played so far has been a 10 out of 10. Of course, I'm not too far into it, so I don't know how much better it gets, but everything after that I've done, which is about a couple hours worth, has been fan-fucking-tastic. Everything before, okay. Everything after, great. So, for those who don't know me, I, like I've mentioned before, am not much of an FPS person anymore. I'm more of an RPG fan, strategy fan, etc., etc. So one of my favorite things to happen in RPG games is when your actions actually change and affect the world around you. One of my favorite things. Not a lot of games, unfortunately, do this. Stalker 2, however, does do this after the Institute, which I love. The reason for this is the hometown of Zalicia. The reason for this, and the reason why I like it so much, is, for those that haven't been watching the streams, I'm a bit of a loot goblin, which means I grab everything not nailed down. Anything I can sell, basically. That's why I'm running around with over 100 grand usually in the game. I was making one of my usual loot goblin runs away from the Institute, and I was walking for a solid 20 minutes. I was heading for Camp Icarus. For those that already know, you know. If you don't, Camp Icarus is a safe haven in Zatan, kind of northern Zatan. It's run by the Ward. I was like, okay, they have a trader there, they have a tech there, they have a guide there. That's great. I could use all three of those and get going with the story. I spent 20 minutes trudging through the swamps to get to Camp Icarus, only to find, once I reached the walls, a soldier's voice on the PA system of the base, giving a haunting warning that the base has been quarantined and most personnel have already been evacuated. I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. I got closer and up against the wall, only to hear the groaning of zombies. Did I go in? Fuck no. But I heard them, and even the game's little stealth mechanic started going off that there was an enemy in there. I was like, okay, I'm going the opposite way. And so I went down to one of the boats and I sold everything. But that's besides the point. The change of Camp Icarus was really neat. But that was just leading up to my actual favorite thing so far in the game. And that was when you make it back to Silesia, the main starting town where all the rookie stalkers go in the zone to start off their adventures. You find it under attack by an army of Monolithian soldiers who have all fully geared out, best guns, good armor, and they're going up against the denizens of Silesia, a bunch of rookies who have boomsticks and no armor. The best they have is a leather jacket, usually. And so, being the goody two-shoes, ward soldier, I rushed into battle to help save Silesia from the Monolithian attack. However, after the little gun battle you have there, you find out that this was actually an aftermath of the actual battle, and you're able to actually go around to the different buildings of the town and actually explore and see the remnants and the aftermath of that battle. You get to see all the dead rookies who, try to hide in the buildings, did a last stand, and ultimately failed. It's kind of a solemn moment, honestly. Looking around, seeing all the level design there, it was fantastic. But another cool thing is when you actually go into the main town halls, and what I'm going to call it, is where all the survivors kind of hold up. You end up finding Gaffer, you end up fighting Lens, you end up finding most of the main people, Warlock. Gaffer and Warlock are trying to plan a defense of the town. But you find Lens is injured, and this is part of one of the side quests that you have there, to go get him a bandage and help him up. But one of the side pieces of audio that I heard is that Lens, the man missing a leg, took the brunt of the first assault, holding his workshop by himself. It was only till after the battle that they were able to get to him and find that he had 3 bullet wounds and wound from grenade shrapnel. The dude is a giga chat, so of course I was going to go save him. So, apart from saving Lens, apart from saving Silesia, you get a couple more gunfights as you go through the town. But the main thing is a side quest where you go help the Gaffer get supplies, kill Uncle Leonia, who was actually a double agent, who was like a sleeper cell for the Monolithians. That was kind of cool. You actually help him and Warlock, rebuild the town, get a town running again. It was actually really good. This entire thing was like 2-ish hours, and it was a side quest. I could have completely skipped it. I could have completely missed it. But this is one of the best parts of the game for me, honestly. It's nothing groundbreaking, but the story and, the level design of the, broken town, of all the dead bodies everywhere, it was fantastic. Alright, welcome back to everyone who skipped the spoilers, and to those who have watched until here, I thank you. This is my first video back to YouTube, and I hope that you have enjoyed it. Please let me know what you have thought of Stalker 2 so far in the comments below, and tell me, with a spoiler warning, of any amazing side quests that you have actually run across and I might have missed. I want to go play them. Anyways, that'll be it for me today. If you want to see more videos from me, please subscribe to the channel, and leave the video a like. I would really appreciate it. Helps, keep me going. Next up will either be the full review of Stalker 2 if I can get around to finishing it, or a random idea I've had for a video for a while now, 5 games I wish I could create. Anyways, Thank you again for watching, stay safe, and have a great day.